Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 79 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. Jonathan, happy Friday. How are you doing on this afternoon?
Happy Friday, guys. I'm doing great. Can't complain. Big weekend of basketball ahead.
Matthew Winnick is here with us. Matthew, welcome back to Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers. We're so excited to have you.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk a lot of games going on a Saturday in early February.
Yeah, I mean, what could be better? You've got college basketball, the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's what February was made for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to win, but we're not an NFL show, so I don't really want to give my opinion. I don't have much of a take. I just think Seattle's better.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's the better team. The better team doesn't always win.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is a reason for Seattle-based college basketball teams to really show out on Saturday. Maybe the Red Hawks are going to get a big victory at Portland after Portland just knocked off Gonzaga. You never know.
The only Red Hawks we recognize.
I mean, they're a Red Hawks team with a loss.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah. Let's start about 20-minute walk from where I am right now, where I will be tonight at Madison Square Garden, UConn, St. John's. I mean, I wrote a column for Basket Under Review this morning. This is basically exactly what the Big East is all about, and it's everything that every other conference wants to have, even though the Big East is terrible this year, objectively. A game like this couldn't exist in any other conference, just from a storylines perspective, from the feeling it gives you perspective. But let's talk about the actual basketball here, because you've got obviously two of the better bigs in the country, Harris Reed, Zuby Ejiofor. UConn has figured it out offensively, going from 41st to 25th in just the last two games. 85 points against Creighton, 59 possessions, 92 and 68 against Xavier. Will they be able to keep that up against St. John's, who has been the top 20 defense throughout the season?
Yeah, I think really this comes down to rebounding versus turnovers, because Rick Pitino is going to pressure those UConn guards that have turned it over too much this year. And then St. John's has been very susceptible on weak side defensive rebounds if you're a team that's going to crash hard. And UConn is not afraid to do that. That's really what it comes down to. If UConn dominates the glass here, which they very well can, they're just going to take too many shots in this game, because St. John's is not talented enough in the half court to keep up if UConn's taking 10 more attempts. Flip side, if St. John's pressure is working, if they're getting the crowd into it, which maybe 50-50, maybe 60-40 maximum, I'd say. St. John's leaning maybe slightly in terms of crowd volume. But if St. John's can get those steals, get out in transition, not be bogged down into a 62-possession half-court game, that's what they need to do to win. Because if this is, like you said, like 62, 63 possessions, I just don't think St. John's can win it.
Agreed. I think that, this is a lot on Demery and Malachi Smith. If they control pace of the game and can play it slow like UConn likes to do, this is a good recipe for UConn to come in here and get a road win. But if St. John's is going to get out and pressure you, that's the chaos factor is always something to watch with them. And yeah, Matthew, I think you nailed it. If UConn's guards are getting sped up, like, this is where St. John's can go in and get a big win here.
Yeah, I mean, we saw UConn struggle with pressure in the Seton Hall game in that second half. And then we saw Seton Hall struggle with St. John's pressure a week later, and it was like the same thing. I felt like I was watching the same game. And we've seen I don't think this UConn team was playing its best basketball at that point. And Silas Demery, the last couple of games, has been awesome. He was incredible against Xavier. He was really, really good against Creighton. Just getting him to be more and more reliable, to have him be maybe their second. I think by the time March comes around, Braylon Mullins is going to be this team's best offensive player. And he's already starting to look like it. Silas Demery might be this team's second best player at that point in time. And I think that's kind of what their ceiling is. This team's ceiling is not Harris Reed being its best player. It's definitely not Alex Caravan being its best player. We saw that last year when it didn't materialize. This team's ceiling is when Demery and Mullins are their best players. And I think Mullins is starting to emerge into that. I really want to see how he's going to hold up defensively on St. John's guards, who are a little bit more physically developed, I would say, than he is at this point in time. But we've seen Josan Sandin struggle throughout the year. Ian Jackson has been very up and down. Josiah Sellers as well has been up and down. Dylan Darling has been up and down. Again, it's been a very roller coaster experience. The one thing that has not been a roller coaster for St. John's this year is Zuby Ejiofor. He's always there. He's always producing. The third straight. This is obviously second straight year where Zuby Ejiofor is the constant, and everything else is the chaos factor. And I think right now, the way UConn has turned the corner offensively, the way that this crowd will swing with the momentum of kind of whoever's playing well, I think UConn has more of the ability to kind of go out and make runs, get the crowd into it, get their crowd into it, and win this ball game.
I also just think that UConn's defensive scheme is way too good to not take advantage of the fact that St. John's is going to play huge minutes of all of Bryce Hopkins, Dylan Mitchell, and Zuby Ejiofor on the floor, who are like all guys that UConn will be okay with letting shoot. And believe me, if you tell UConn that they can park one of their forwards in the paint and just not worry about Dylan Mitchell, like they will take that opportunity. And with the lack of playmaking from the guard spot, there's a chance that this is like very, very Zuby heavy in terms of usage. And those typically haven't gone so fantastically for St. John's. Obviously, he's their best player and they're going to use him a ton, but you don't really want him as like a true offensive alpha and hub. I think that's probably what's going to end up happening here. And I don't think that's the greatest outcome for the Redstone.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I think you guys nailed it. Got really nothing else to add. I expect a heavy Zuby dosage tonight, and we'll see if UConn can game plan around it.
Here's the big question: who will have the more unhinged post-game press conference?
Probably Dan Hurley. I feel like it's going to always be a favorite towards Dan Hurley's side.
Because I think I would argue that these are the two best coaches in the country in terms of their press conferences.
You've been to a lot more than me, so
Mick Cronin's up there too.
Yeah,
but the thing about Mick is like his great moments are also him being snappy and kind of a little rude. So it's kind of hard to get at it. It's hard to. It's more of like we're laughing at him and not laughing like at his jokes or at what he's saying at him. Right. I think that in terms of the content, Hurley and Patino are the two most charismatic, colorful, and controversial press conferences in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can get out of hand for sure.
Coach who gives the best press conferences in the sport is Greg Kampe.
Gotta love Greg Kampe.
I don't even know if that's true. I'm just assuming it is.
Yeah. No reason not to believe it.
Yeah. Let's move forward to tomorrow, where we've obviously got a whole bunch of big games. Let's start in East Lansing at 8 p.m. on Big Fox. A lot of Big Fox talk today. Michigan State coming off back-to-back losses. We talked about the Jeremy Fears situation last night and how this is like kind of starting to get out of hand for him in terms of playing dirty. If he tries to do that against this Illinois team will take advantage of every mistake. This Illinois team is awesome. They have been awesome for a long time now, ever since they handed Keaton Wagler the keys back in December. And this is one of my, if we can see Jeremy Fears like not be an idiot, this is one of my favorite point guard matchups of the year.
Yeah, if he flops around those screens like he was doing against Michigan, Keaton Wagler will make him pay. Like no doubt about that.
Would you argue against me if I told you that Keaton Wagler is a top 3 offensive player in the country right now?
Right now, no.
Probably not. No,
I wouldn't argue that.
I mean, he's the best offensive player by far for the best offensive team in Ken Pom history right now. Obviously, that's a little bit of a qualifier, but it's like he's been so unbelievably good. Different teams have tried different strategies of how to guard him, and all of them have failed. since Colin Boswell went down, like outside of Cameron Boozer and Kingston Flemings, and you can maybe make the argument that Wagler's been even better than Kingston Flemings, but like he's been a top 3 offensive player in the sport. And Michigan State kind of has a similar defensive base to Purdue, where they play those 2 bigs and they're not afraid sometimes to put them on an island with guards. Obviously, that went horrifically poorly for the Boilermakers. I would imagine Tom Izzo is probably too smart to let that happen again. But you think about Illinois and how much isolation they allowed defensively, and that's how their whole goal is allowing shot making against their opponent and like outshoot us. Michigan State can't outshoot like anybody. So that's not good. I don't think this is going to be a game that Michigan State wins.
Yeah, we talked so much last night, Sam, about how like Michigan State can't let this spiral. They've lost two in a row, and you got the whole Jeremy Fears situation going on. But I don't see a way that Michigan State can keep pace with Illinois in this game. I think Illinois is too talented offensively, and the way they're playing right now, they just feel unstoppable on that end.
Yeah, I've talked about this before, but like once you get into a season, Tom Izzo becomes the most predictable coach in the country in terms of what games the team is going to win and what games the team is going to lose. Hand up, I misread the Michigan State situation with that. But here we are. They've lost 2 in a row. It's the classic Tom Izzo team loses a couple games in early February, and everyone panics. And this is a rough stretch of the schedule. You get the spot with Minnesota in the middle of the week, and you you don't play very well. You got to come back, and you're playing at home, but you're playing against one of the best teams in the sport, an offense that is not a great matchup for you, as Matthew mentioned, one of the best guards in the country, a team that has a size that can match you as well. Michigan State, one of their things is their size and their ability to rebound. Illinois is just as good at those aspects of the game. So I think that the areas where Michigan State has the advantage, Illinois, where Michigan State typically has an advantage, Illinois, personnel-wise, scheme-wise, kind of fits that in. They work it out. Obviously, there will not be a ton of obviously, the turnover battle will be an interesting one because Michigan State turns it over a lot. Illinois doesn't force turnovers. I think that cancels out. And we just kind of get an average on both sides in that. But as I look at Illinois, the team with more firepower in this game, it's been almost 2 months since they've lost. And I think that will continue going into this one.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm trying to see. I don't think Michigan State's been out rebounded by a single opponent this year. No, they haven't. At least in a rate stat wise, they have not allowed a higher offensive rebounding rate than they have retrieved. They won the rebounding battle in every single game this season, and there's a very real chance they do not win the rebounding battle here. And if they don't, like, they are so screwed because they're not winning the tournament.
What else do they have to go to?
Yeah, they have nothing. They don't have shot making. They don't have turnovers. Advantage. Obviously, Illinois doesn't force any, but Michigan State doesn't either. Like, turnover should be even. Shot making is decidedly not even. So if turnovers, obviously, and Illinois allows the fewest free throws in the country. So free throws even at best, turnovers likely even at best. If rebounding is a wash, Michigan State has no chance.
And if you look at Michigan State's best offensive games, they've been overplayed. Well, it's when they've been overplayed defensively. Mm-hmm. Illinois is not going to do that. They're not going to. Right. They're not going to get themselves in rotation and give Michigan State an avenue to hit an open three, yes, or an avenue for a kick out and an avenue for a skip pass. They don't get in rotation like that when you play that drop coverage.
Michigan State's greatest advantage offensively is their continuity in the way that they play as a team. But Illinois and Michigan's in the same boat are two fantastic teams at allowing isolation. Duke also in that boat, and Michigan State didn't even score over 60 points in that one. It's when you can force Michigan State to be individuals that they are very susceptible offensively, and Illinois absolutely has the ability to do that. It's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Jonathan?
Yeah, like kind of what Matthew said. Like, if they're going to make, all these Michigan State guys beat them, one-on-one and not allow them to play team basketball like Michigan State wants to do, like, it's going to just be a nightmare situation.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jeremy Fears has been scoring a lot recently. I don't know if Jeremy Fears scoring 30
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the best recipe for them to win.
is a path to Michigan State winning games against good teams.
I mean, those two games, like 29 was a Rutgers overtime win, and then 31 was losing to Michigan by double digits. It's not like that has been conducive to success.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Michigan game, Kohler 2 for 7 from 3. They got basically nothing out of Cooper offensively, nothing out of Ugachukwu. What has Divine Ugachukwu done all year? He's been able to kind of find his spots when the defense collapses in on Fears and the pick and roll game. That's not how the drop coverage works.
Nope. It's not a game for Divine Ugachukwu. I
No.
don't believe so. Also, he's tiny, and Illinois is huge.
Yeah. I think Michigan State has a million ways to struggle. Has a million ways to struggle in this game. Essentially, I mean, unless Illinois just comes out and shoots the way it did early in the season, I don't think Michigan State is going to have a pleasant experience.
No.
Another big one tomorrow night. Houston at BYU. We kind of discussed BYU last night, and they've lost 4 out of their last 5. Their defense is, I think I said, in the 200s over that span. 84, 78, 86, 90, 99 points allowed in the last 5 games. Jonathan Kevin Fielder also said, like, team looks gassed out. The players that are not DeBonsta, Wright, and Saunders have really fallen off a cliff, not given them close to what they need right now. And now you have to play against Houston, who is going to make life a living hell for your point guard. It's going to make life hell for your on-ball players, and is just going to be relentless on the glass.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead, Matt.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it last night. Like, BYU looks completely gassed right now, and that was evident against Oklahoma State. Like, they fouled them a whole bunch. Oklahoma State just got to the line a ton. And, I don't think of Houston as a team that's, like, going to get to the line at all. Like, they're, pretty reliant in mid-range. They're very unconventional to, like, modern basketball. But defensively, like, if you're talking about wearing down a team, like, I think Houston can just come in here and play a better 40 minutes than BYU, because Houston has the depth that BYU doesn't, and can play them harder for 40 minutes.
How many times has BYU played a full 40 minutes this year?
In big games, I would say
0.
none. Yeah.
0. That's not even my biggest issue with BYU. BYU has a lot of issues. On-ball creators against them, the last 5 games. Christian Anderson, Jalen Petty combined for 32. That's actually not too bad. Utah, Terrence Brown and Don McHenry combined for 38. Arizona, Jaden Bradley and Braden Berry is combined for 55. Kansas, Darren Peterson had 18 at half, so let's just extrapolate that and say 36. Him and Melvin Council had 51 if you extrapolate out Darren Peterson. And then obviously Oklahoma State last time out, Anthony Roy, Vic Miller, and Jalen Curry combined for 48 plus 14, that's 62 points. If you're not stopping any on-ball creation and you're just gifted Kingston Flemings and Emmanuel Sharp, not good. Not good. And I don't know how they stop those guys if you've shown zero ability to stop pick and roll creators, anything off of penetration. Even talk about pick and roll in general, like JT Top and Christian Anderson pick and roll annihilated BYU. That's the reason why they pulled away late. Yes, their sporting cast stinks. And yes, they look gassed, and they're a 3-man team. And they're not going to be able to stop Houston off the bounce. The only way they win this game is what's kind of killed Houston lately, and it's the offensive glass. Teams are getting second chances constantly against this Houston pressure. Obviously it's like scheme related, but JoJo Tugler has 2 defensive rebounds in his last 4 games, which is unbelievable. He's averaging 0.5 defensive rebounds per game in his last 4. So if Kebaketa gets like 10 offensive rebounds, like maybe, also it's BYU at home, but that's kind of their only pathway.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I got nothing else to add. I think Houston's just going to wear these guys down for 40 minutes and get a road win. Like, their offense has finally started to get to the level that it was last year. And I think that should be really, really scary for other teams.
Jonathan, each of the last 2 games, I've like texted you in the middle of the second half. Like, is Houston's opponent even going to get to 45?
Yeah.
Like they allowed 20 in the first half to Cincinnati. It was 33 in the first 30 minutes for Cincinnati. And then it was 33 in the first 30 minutes for UCF. Like, BYU will score more than that in the first 30 minutes, but like they probably need to score 80, 85 to win this game. And are they going to do that against Houston?
I mean, Arizona State scored 59 in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, they also scored 29 in the first 20.
Yeah, they had a big first 10 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, and they were down like 30 at halftime.
I mean, Houston has allowed at least a point per possession to back-to-back teams on the road, TCU getting 1 point per possession, and then obviously the beatdown that Texas Tech put on their defense. But, like, obviously BYU is not Texas Tech level of shot creation, obviously.
Right now they're not. Like, I think they have there's no reason they shouldn't be.
Because AJ DeBonsa's rim dependent, and Big 12 teams are really good at taking away the rim. And outside of, like,
Houston.
Yeah, well, so is Houston. Houston's unbelievable at it. Houston's number 22 in the country in 2-point distance allowed and number 1 in the Big 12. But, like, outside of Utah, who's one of the worst rim defenses in the country, BYU's had offensive issues for a large part of Big 12 play because they're not getting to the hoop. And AJ DeBonsa is like a fine mid-range player. I said this to Brian on Weekend Under Review last week. Like, if you look at just conference play, AJ DeBonsa is just like better PR Nate Ament. Both guys that, like, I mean, obviously DeBonsa is way more explosive, but they're both guys that when you deny rim, they're inefficient mid-range shooters. And it's not a great equation for points against really good athletic teams.
Yeah. Again, like I've kind of been harping on it all year that like DeBonsa hasn't been shooting enough threes. He made 5 in the Oklahoma State game. If he can come out and make 5 threes, I think that tilts the calculus a little bit. But if you can make 5 threes and lose to Oklahoma State, you can make 5 threes and lose to Houston.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, interesting, how we're sitting here analyzing this game and we're like, yeah, if AJ DeBonsa makes 18% of his total threes for the season, BYU could get this one.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just that, like, he's so clearly capable of doing it, and, like, he wasn't taking threes because he could get to the rim so easily. Now the rim has kind of been shut off a little bit more. He's only had 11 free throws in the last 2 games, which for him is pretty low. And he's taking more threes right now, and I think that's probably in the long run something that BYU is going to need. They're going to need him to make outside shots at a consistent rate, at a decent volume throughout the season, because that just makes him that much more difficult to guard. I felt like he got kind of predictable. Still hard to stop with that kind of step through move that he loves when he gets into the lane, the kind of ability to play for the foul. He was doing that a lot. And like, again, he was really hard to stop while doing it. But I think you put him against some of the best defenders in the country, you put him against some of the best defenses in the country, and it's harder for him to consistently do that, especially over the course of a 40-minute game. So making the outside shot is something that he's going to have to do over the second half of the season. He did it a ton in high school. It's not like this is a new part of his game.
Just one more point, because I just feel like on near identical usage in their respective power conference leagues, Nate Ament's offensive rating is 8 points higher than AJ DeBonsa's.
Wow, that's pretty crazy to me. Does Ament also have more stocks than DeBonsa?
Barely. They're very, very so.
These are like the stockless portfolios of 6'9" athletic wings.
I don't care about stocks that much, especially it's just so scheme dependent. Like
Yeah, I agree.
Tennessee and BYU are both switching schemes. You're not going to get as much, and they're sagging a lot off of ball screens. They're not doubling as much. They're not playing in the passing lanes as much. They're both in the 190s in turnover rate. Like you can't just be like get steals. Like a lot of that is scheme related, and so I don't read too much into it. Like Matisse Thybulle is the greatest stocks guy of all time because he played in the zone. He's obviously fantastic at it, but if he didn't play in a zone at Washington, it wouldn't be as good. It just is what it is.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Let's move forward. Let's talk a little. We're actually kind of breezing through these games today. We do not usually go.
Sorry, it normally takes you more than 30 minutes to get through 3 games.
Yes.
That's funny.
Let's talk Alabama Auburn, the Iron Bowl of basketball. They gave us just remarkable basketball games last year, which I kind of culturally took as an insult as a Northeast guy that they could give us that high level of basketball down in the South. But man, I would love to see another game like that. But I have my major doubts about both of these teams right now. I actually probably feel decent about Auburn compared to where I've been over the course of the year. But that schedule right now over the next couple of games between this game, that Vandy, then Arkansas, that's really difficult. And they've already got a whole bunch of losses. Alabama, they got pounded physically by Florida last week, and we talked about that. And bringing in Charles Bediako hasn't solved any problems for them, which is a problem for them.
No, it's definitely a problem for them. Alabama's struggled so much with, offensive rebounding, with physicality, with the free throw line all season. There are 2 teams in the country that are top 15 in offensive rebounding rate and free throw rate offensively. 2 teams. They just so happen to both reside in the SEC. That would be Texas and that would be Auburn. Texas beat Alabama at Alabama
18
because
on 32 free throw attempts.
Yes, because they had 32 free throw attempts and won the rebounding battle.
9 assists in that game. I don't remember a Texas player passing the ball once in that game.
Because they didn't have to, because Alabama lets you play ISO. They just went downhill, bully ball. Alabama fouls on every single drive and on every single offensive rebound. And Texas was like, okay, we'll get to the line 32 times. We'll get 18 offensive rebounds. We don't have to pass. It's just hoop. And that's when Auburn's best. That's like Keyshawn Hall's Batman call. I can get the ball, go downhill, and draw contact. Sure, I'll do that 35 times. Auburn doesn't turn it over because they don't pass. They just
if Tony Skinn told him that was what he was going to do, he wouldn't have left the team.
Doing exactly. Keyshawn Hall has been, Keaton Wagler is a top 3 offensive player in the country. Keyshawn Hall has got to be in the top 10 conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
He's 12th best offense in the country. He's one of the most productive scorers that you have. And who's guarding him for Alabama? Is it Amari Allen on his bum ankle? Is it Houston Millett and his number 95 because there's 95% of the things you do are hustle or whatever his saying is, and that's why he wears a number. Auburn's going to dominate the glass.
And Divine Ugochukwu is out for the season.
Pardon?
And Divine Ugochukwu is out for the season.
What? Okay, that sounds like Trey Fort time to me. Oh, damn. Okay. Well.
It didn't work for Mississippi State.
It also didn't work for Michigan State.
Hey, it worked for Stanford.
Yeah. Well.
Great. Maybe we should go back there.
Shout out, Bucky.
Oh, well.
Back to Auburn.
On this Auburn-Alabama game, I think Auburn's going to shoot a lot of free throws. And when, they are getting to the rim and not getting calls, I think that there's going to be guys on the backside cleaning up the glass.
I don't even know if it's going to be a lot of free throws. Alabama might just lay them to the back.
Maybe we might just let them go.
That's not what a Nate Oates team does. They're going to foul.
Yeah.
A lot.
This is, I fear that we're going to come out of this again saying you add this, you make this completely unethical midseason move to add Bediako and you get punked inside again.
I have one ultimate prediction in this game, inevitably. This game's at 4 p.m. on ESPN2. Akron versus Troy is at 6 p.m. on ESPN2.
Oh, no.
You will not get a second of the first half of that basketball.
Not a chance.
You will not get to watch the first half of Akron Troy unless you have the ESPN app.
Hashtag end 2-hour windows.
Not a chance. And you know what? ESPN2 knew that.
This game isn't going to start until 4:15 anyway.
What's before it? Oh, yeah, they're going to start at 4:15 just in case anyways. Yeah, so, yeah, you're not getting the first half of
Texas.
You're not getting the first half. Oh, it's Texas? Oh,
yeah.
So you're going Texas. Oh, no.
Who are they playing?
Mississippi.
It doesn't matter because Texas is going to go to the line 50 times.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is last in the SEC, and half of the shots that Ole Miss allows on the year is a free throw, at least in SEC play. So Texas is going to take 3 hours, then Auburn's going to take 3 hours, and we might get the last 5 minutes of Akron Troy. Damn.
Real shame.
That's brutal.
5 minutes of Tamari Johnson is not enough.
What's on ESPN2 at 8?
Ugh.
Nothing.
Yeah, I see 9:30. They got a 9:30 Arizona State, Colorado, which means they get a much needed break in that span.
Yeah, but then you have to watch Arizona State, Colorado.
You don't have to.
You definitely don't have to.
You definitely don't have to.
No, you don't have to.
And you also definitely don't have to watch San Diego State Air Force on Fox Sports 1.
They're putting Air Force on national TV. Thanks.
Hey, respect the troops.
Out of the 155 games in the country on Saturday, San Diego State Air Force is 155th in Ken Palm thrill score. That is dead last. That is worse than Tennessee State, Western Illinois. And Western Illinois just allowed 1.57 points per possession to Tennessee Tech and got 12 defensive rebounds.
Yeah, like I'm so out of the
riveting
middle
stuff.
and bottom of the Ohio Valley that like that's like in one ear out the other.
It means that Western Illinois is probably the worst team in the country, and it's still a better game than San Diego State.
I don't think they're the worst team in the country.
They're the second worst team in the country, and honestly, I don't even know if I'd pick them over Mississippi Valley if Mississippi Valley was at full strength.
I can't imagine there's a team worse than Gardner-Webb Binghamton.
Hey, is that net rating getting closer between Copp and State? And
yes,
Valley State?
it's down to 1.55.
Binghamton would beat Western Illinois.
Gardner-Webb has been talked about one too many times on this podcast this year. And
hey,
I won too many times. I mean one.
Can I just say, in the preseason, I called Gardner-Webb an NEC roster, and I was way too kind. Way too kind.
No, I called they would lose by 50 to High Point. I wanted to say 70, but I said 50.
You were right. You were correct. And they get to host High Point in a couple days, so that should be fun. On Valentine's Day, I don't think that'll be a day of love.
That's for lovers.
Nobody's spending their Valentine's
Day.
Day.
They are projected to lose a conference home game by 24 points.
Okay, well, I bet you there's worse with Air Force.
It could be a lot worse than that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't believe they beat USC Upstate.
Hey, crazier things have happened. Let's see. 21 home game for Air Force, San Diego State.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah, that's the worst it's going to get.
Have
They did host Utah State and lost by 37. So.
Yeah. That would be the one.
It's way too early in the pod to be doing this.
No, never too early to talk about
Come on,
spreads
Sam.
of how bad teams should lose in conference play at home.
You want to talk Duke Carolina?
What a turn. Sure. Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, why not? This
Jonathan, I'll give you the floor as our resident Duke fan.
Yeah, I'm predictably nervous. It's always tough going there and getting a win. Although we've done it twice since Shire's taken over, so I think I'm concerned about UNC's interior defense against us in this game. I think that if there's one team in this conference that has the personnel to kind of hold Cam Boozer down a little bit, it's them. And I think we're going to have to hit threes and we're going to have to make plays off of screens. I think that this is going to be a game where Caleb Foster has to bring it and Isaiah Evans has to score the basketball, which he's been doing very well lately. But this game especially.
My favorite stat right now is that North Carolina hasn't lost a game this year when teams make less than half their threes. That's a stat.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, Duke is 14th in the ACC in three-point percentage, which you probably wouldn't have expected 2 months ago. They've been like pretty cold as a team.
Positive regression game?
Possible. I mean, you could call it positive regression, but also the fact that North Carolina's played 5 games where teams have hit 50% of their threes. Maybe, I mean, to be fair, though, like anyone that watched that Stanford game, and I would imagine you guys at least saw some of it, like they allowed so many open threes to Ryan Agarwal and Jeremy Dempsey.
And it was just attack the basket, kick three, attack the basket.
It wasn't like Stanford making crazy shots. It wasn't like Benny Gieler fading away from three.
The SMU game was SMU making crazy shots.
Yeah, okay, sure. Depends on the game, but like that Stanford game, it was just what was the defense doing? Like try to care at least a little bit. But like North Carolina's going to care here, obviously. I don't think Duke shoots 50% from three. That's just a hot take. In which case, like front court's even-ish. Guards are a weakness for both teams. Like you said it. Caleb Foster probably has to be the best guard in this game. And he probably is. But he probably has to be the best guard in this game. And Duke wins if that happens.
Yeah, I just know there's going to be bad faith Caleb Wilson discourse after this game, no matter what he does. I don't think I've seen one good faith Caleb Wilson conversation all year.
I also think that Duke's game plan defensively has just been we're gonna stick Dame Sarr on whoever the other team's best player is, and he's going to shut him down. He has not had the opportunity yet to guard a player quite like Caleb Wilson. Granted, there aren't many players like Caleb Wilson.
Yeah, no,
guard Caleb Wilson. I wouldn't imagine much. He's too thin.
Yeah, I think they're gonna try.
If they want to, and stick Cameron Boozer on whatever horrible wing North Carolina trots out. Like, if they don't try him on Caleb Wilson, you're probably not going to play him because there's no point in having a defensive stopper on for Luka Bogovac. Like, that's probably a waste.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And we've seen Boozer kind of at some point struggle to settle into games against some of the most physical competition, and then turn it on in the second half. I wonder if we see that in this game against North Carolina, but I wonder if going on the road in this environment and this rivalry means that it's even harder for him to settle in. And that's something to monitor going into this one. We saw it kind of in the Texas game, the Kansas game, and the Arkansas game, that it kind of took him a little bit to really get going against some of the most physical defenses that he faced. I think he'll be fine. I think he's probably the best player in the sport. Probably the most consistent player in the sport. He's got 1 million KenPom MVPs because he's the best player on the floor, scoring 0 points or scoring 25 points. Mm-hmm. But I do wonder how North Carolina, how he's going to react to the North Carolina front court, which is one of the most physical and one of the best defensive front courts in the country in my eyes.
Talk about physicality. Both Wilson and Boozer draw over 6 fouls per game. So obviously they'll guard each other in spots, but if they guard each other all game, they'll both be in foul trouble, and neither team can afford to do that. So if they're not guarding each other, then who's guarding who and who does a good job of it? Like, obviously Malik Brown is capable. Malik Brown is capable of guarding anybody. Jaren Stevenson has the size. Like, I don't know if he can do that. Like, the backup options for Duke, if they're going to have to not guard their star with their star, Duke has the better option in Malik Brown.
They also have the better star, straight up.
Yeah, I mean, they have the better star in every single game they play for the entire season. So,
unless they face Kansas again in the NCAA tournament, maybe.
I mean, Darren Peterson's the better.
To play the full game?
The full game, Darren Peterson's the best scorer in the country and the best draft pick in the country. I still think Cameron Boozer is the best player.
Yeah, I think it could go either way. I think those are the 2 best players in the sport.
Yeah, I have absolutely no reason.
It's weird how Cam Boozer's. I don't even know what he is at this point in betting odds to win National Player of the Year, and there's still this huge disparity between casuals and people that watch him constantly in how good
2.77 Ken Pom Player of the Year.
He's on pace. He's having one of the most productive.
He's higher than Flag in Ken Pom Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's having one of the most productive seasons in the last 20 years.
If I remember correctly, Flag was top 5 of all time in Ken Pom MVP as well.
Yeah.
So
he was.
Maybe he was top 3.
Flag was higher than 2024 Edie.
Yeah.
Is Kaminsky still like the top guy like ever?
Yeah, 2.794.
Yeah.
And Boozer's 2.77.
Yeah, so it'd be Kaminsky 1, Flag 2, Boozer 2, Flag 3, Edie 4, Russ Smith 5.
Oh, shout out Russ Smith.
And Russ Smith did not win National Player of the Year.
Oh, we didn't know numbers like we know numbers now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Trey Burke won it that year, right?
Yeah.
It's not like Trey Burke. It's not like Trey Burke didn't deserve it.
And Trey Burke was second in Ken Pom MVP that year, so it's not like the numbers
Trey
were.
Burke was incredible. Hey, shout out Mike Muscala at Bucknell, getting in the top 10 out of the Patriots.
Moose. Let's go. Yeah, no mid-major guys hopping in there anymore. The closest we can get to is the leader in game MVPs from a mid-major, and that would be Stephen F. Austin's Keon Thompson.
UMass legend. Hey, at least last year you had Nick Clifford at 6. 2 years ago you had Daron Holmes, Jaden Ledee. You had a couple years ago Darius McGee. Orlando Robinson was in there. Crutwig. So this is the first year that you don't have a mid-major guy in there since 2019.
I wonder who would be first. I want Ken to give individual player ratings for everybody. That's all I really want.
Do you have a guess?
I mean, you could probably guess. Like, what? I guess the best mid-major league is the Mountain West, and the best player in Mountain West is Mason Falslev. So it's probably Mason Falslev.
Do you think it would be Mason Falslev?
Oh, I mean, like Robbie Avila is not even 1 in the A10. It's Rafa Castro, so it's
not.
It's definitely not Paulius Morauskas, who's in the WCC. It's probably not Chase Walker.
Okay, could it be Tabari Johnson?
I don't think so. Because
he's got the highest Torvik rating out of those guys.
I mean, I guess Akron is 52 in Ken Pom.
Maybe Nick Townsend.
Could be Nick Townsend.
The numbers are absurd for him.
It actually very well might be Nick Townsend.
Yeah, his numbers are ridiculous.
It's probably Nick Townsend.
Who do they play tonight?
They don't play tonight. They play tomorrow.
Yeah, there's only one game this weekend. It's Brown, and they play again on Monday they play Monday against Howard. What? Okay.
I think they do that every year.
No, they do play tonight. They play tonight against Brown.
Oh, one team plays tonight. It's Yale. It's Brown. Brown's offense is sad. Very, very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yale and Howard play every year.
I mean, they played last year, and I was there, and Yale won by 50.
50?
It was like 35.
38. Yeah.
It felt like 50.
I don't know, but this one in the middle of conference play is a little bit of a weird one. Yale's bench is all freshmen. They don't play, and I just know all of them are going to be amazing next year. I'm certain.
Yeah. Correct. Okay, maybe not all of them. Like some of them.
There's 3 that have played more than 2% of their minutes. If all 3 of them aren't, I guess there's a lot of juniors on this team. One of them will be a starter next year, and all 3 of them will be starters in 2 years.
Will one of them be starter next year?
I mean, not getting anyone in the portal. They're losing
Townsend and Simmons.
They're losing Townsend and Simmons.
And they have Braithwaite and Fox.
I guess that's true.
Sam, yeah. They have no players from Chicago that are in the rotation right now.
Well, can we count
the Chicagoland area?
Who played at Northwestern?
Huh?
Can we count Casey Simmons who played at Northwestern?
I guess.
I just think you got to go to I love going to these Ivy League non D1 games and just seeing which random players that don't play played unbelievable in those non D1 games. It's like next year you're going to be good. Courtney Wallace, you're going to be good.
Why? Because he had 15 against SUNY Maritime?
Yes. Because he had 15 against SUNY Maritime.
I love that. Shout out to SUNY Maritime.
I mean, that's the Ivy League. Got to stay ahead of the development curve.
I mean, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and 4 steals in 18 minutes is a good day's work.
All right, let's rapid fire through some stuff. Jonathan, give me some Florida, Texas A&M thoughts.
Texas A&M is playing incredible right now. And they've really turned it on in conference play. And it's just an interesting contrast of styles to me because Florida is really, really thin and has basically played 6 or 7 guys to, effectively. And A&M is going to play a lot more than that. So I think if Florida can, the Florida doesn't like to play slow, but, I think it would behoove them to slow this game down a little bit.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M's whole style is like variance ball, force a ton of turnovers, get up a ton of threes, press. And Florida's whole style is floor ball. We're just going to grab every rebound we can, and we're going to take a lot more shots than you that way. And I think that in this game, with the athleticism gap on both sides, in terms of Florida's front court, which we talked about last night, Ruben Chinyulu, how many bigs would you trade in the country? How many bigs would you not trade for Ruben Chinyulu? And the number's less than 10. It might be less than 5. Man, I also just think that, like, if Washington State.
If Florida's going to try to play, Sam, I also just think if Florida's going to try to play Texas A&M style, like, you could get into a situation where, like, Lee and Flan just start putting up bad shots, but you could also get into a situation where those guys can make shots at some point. That is true.
Like, I think Lee and Flan
put up 100.
Lee and Flan hoisting up shots quickly in the shot clock is actually good offense for Florida.
Yeah, because they get
the rebound.
But
they're going to get 50% of their offensive rebounds. The only bad play Florida can make are turnovers or air balls. As long as it hits the rim, they're good.
They took 65 shots inside the arc in that game against Alabama. Georgia took 50 in their game against Texas A&M. Texas got to the line 26 times in their game. So, like, I think there's a pathway for Florida to just, like, take a ton of shots at the rim in this game.
Ken Palm says this game's going to have 160 points. I actually could not be more confident that there will be like 180 at least.
Yeah. Also, Texas A&M 15th in the SEC in 2-point distance defense. Yeah, I think Florida is going to be able to get to the rim. I think Florida is going to be able to take shots at the rim.
I mean, Florida is the best rebounding team in the country. Tennessee is the number 1 offensive rebounding in the country. Did you know what the rebounding margin was in Tennessee's win over A&M?
It was 60-35.
It was 60-35. And Florida's a better rebounding team than Tennessee. And Tennessee won the glass by 25 rebounds, which I've never seen.
Oh, I've seen it.
I've never seen a game that's more David and Goliath for 2 leaders of a power conference power league than this.
But let me see this. I think there was like a Quinnipiac Hofstra game that had that.
I mean, Fairfield's definitely done it.
Yeah, Quinnipiac last year.
Peters did it.
Quinnipiac last year was 51-29 against Hofstra on the glass. They beat them, and they won the game in overtime.
Yeah, I guess it does happen.
And Quinnipiac basically had that happen to them against Yale. It was 50-37, so not quite as bad.
There was a St. Peter's game 2 years ago where they out-rebounded them 49. They out-rebounded NJIT 49-23.
Oh, the first game of the season?
First week of the season.
First week of the season, yeah, not first game.
49-23. That's a margin.
Yeah, I remember that game.
I hope you like rebounding for one team.
That was like a big Corey game. I think he hit a couple threes, and I clipped him and posted him on Twitter and said, "Hey, Corey Washington makes threes now."
Yeah, Corey Washington's good. And then just very, very, very quick
shout out. He literally became the most important player in the conference that year.
Who knew? Very quick shout out to NJIT, 7-2 in the America East.
Hey, we talked for like 5 minutes.
We led the mid-major segment with them last night.
Grant Billmeyer, tallest coach in the country.
I think there was one coach that was 6'10" that I forgot about. Grant's like 6.
Oh, Brad Korn.
Is it Mark Pope?
Brad Korn is very tall.
Like, how tall is Mark Pope?
6'10".
Okay.
Maybe it's Mark Pope. Brad Korn, Mark Pope, Mark Madsen, Grant Billmeyer, the big men coaches. I love it.
Hold on, let me make sure I have this right. There was someone that I forgot about. I looked up the other day and I'm like, what? He's 6'10"? I don't know who I'm talking about. Well, it's in our heart, it's Greg Campy.
Certainly not in real life.
What do we got on Tennessee, Kentucky, Matthew?
JP Estrella's on-offs are absurd, and Felix Akpars are horrible. Obviously, there's a little bit of like weird stuff in there, but you just look at the starting five that Tennessee's been trotting out for the last couple games. It absolutely murders SEC teams, like in a net rating perspective. I think that there's something to it. JP Estrella's usage is like double what Felix Akpars is, and his assist rate is 3 times what it is, and his offensive rebounding rate is double what Akpars is. Estrella is such a better offensive player, and like Tennessee's going to defend no matter what. It almost makes more sense to have Estrella as like a safety valve offensive rebounder and like high roll passer for Nate Ament and Jacoby Gillespie than whatever offense Felix Akpara doesn't give you. And like, I don't know if Akpara is going to play in this game or not, but if it's more Estrella, I think that actually helps Kentucky a lot. I mean, helps Tennessee a lot.
Talk a little bit about a game that has my attention. St. Joe's and George Mason.
I like that one too.
St. Joe's 7-3. We talked about them on the pod last night. They like the metrics, like they're 9th in offense and 5th in defense in the A10. Like it's not like they've been killing it metrically in conference play. They have not beaten like most of the best teams. Like they did beat Dayton, they did beat UW, but those were at home. But George Mason's kind of having a little bit of a rough patch themselves. They've just lost at home to Duquesne. They almost lost to a Bonaventure team that's fallen off a cliff. But Davidson pretty close. This is kind of an interesting matchup, and we kind of mentioned like Steve Donahue has always been an offense-minded coach. This year's team, he didn't put the roster together. He was an assistant as the roster was being put together, and it's more of a defensive slanted roster. Justice Hajibor at the back, and I think that for a George Mason team that just loves pounding the paint, loves getting to the rim, drawing fouls. If they can get Ajibor into foul trouble, that just completely shifts everything in this game. But Ajibor doesn't really get into foul trouble a ton. He plays 60% of the minutes. He has not fouled out of a game since December 11th. That was his only time fouling out this year, and he only fouled out once last year. So I don't think he's going to get into serious foul trouble, but if he picks up 2 quick ones, that changes the complexion of the first half. George Mason opens up the game for their driving lanes, Fat Hill, Corey Mincy on the outside, Jahari Long. They just have so many guards that can kind of pound the paint, and I think it gives them a little bit of a floor at times, but I guess we didn't see it against Duquesne.
St. Joe's fouls the least amongst all Big Ten teams, but Big Ten teams by a very wide margin. Like they foul by far the least, which is a testament to how good of a rim protector Ajibor is. George Mason, 5th in the country in free throw rate. They're very dependent on it. When they don't get to the line, their offense is not good against competent defenses. So, yeah, that's the game here. If the refs call 2 fouls on Ajibor early, get him out of the game, that is extreme advantage GMU. But if he can play 30 minutes, which he's done in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 6 games, if he plays 30-plus minutes, I think St. Joe's very realistically can come out with the win.
Yeah, want to also talk a little Wisconsin, Indiana, back to the Power Conference games. This one's going to be at 12 p.m. noon on Fox. Who do you think has the matchup edge here?
Yeah, I don't know. Indiana's lineup without Tate Connerway and with Nick Dorn has been like an offensive fireball. It's been insane. I guess in a way it makes sense because Connerway made a lot less sense offensively when you're talking about Enright already being the connector piece. You don't need 2 connectors. 2 connectors makes no sense. So Enright is the connector with Wilkerson and Dorn as the flamethrowers, DeVries is the versatile guy, and Alexis is the post. That lineup, that 5-man lineup offensively is absurd. Wisconsin, not a very good defensive team. And Andrew Rohde, like somehow is one of their better defenders, missed last game. And Austin Rapp's playing right now, which is also bad for their defense because he can't defend. There's a very real chance that Indiana, who typically plays really well offensively at home, unless Ben McCollum's scheming against him, like Indiana could score 90 points in this game pretty easily.
Yeah, I think that We're kind of starting to see that offense for Indiana come through to a level more so than earlier in the year. And I really think that this Indiana team has the chance to be really good offensively down the stretch in front of the season. I think the roster build is certainly there for it. And you mentioned it with Dorn kind of unlocking another level for them.
Just makes more sense.
Yeah. What are some of the other games that catch your eye?
It's a good question. Do we care big? Do we care small? What do we want?
Give me anything.
Is there any chance that Marshall beats Miami of Ohio?
Yes.
Yes.
There's a 39% chance per 10 pound.
But so Matt Van Komen didn't play last game. I think Marshall needs Matt Van Komen. I don't even think he's hurt. He kind of sat on the bench. He didn't have anything on his body. He was wearing full warm-ups. He was he seemed like he was, I don't know why he didn't play. And Southern Miss's 6'7" big man Jai Benet scored 31 points because Matt Van Komen didn't play. It made no sense. I don't think Marshall has a chance without him, but at home, for a team that shoots 45% of their shots from three and can get red hot, if Marshall beats Miami, Ohio in this game, I think that we might have to get rid of the February Sunbelt MAC Challenge because I've already heard so many coaches complain about it. And if it ruins a perfect season, it's never coming back. Ever.
Yeah, no, I don't think the coaches like it. I like it.
Well, yeah, I like it too, but
I think that something that would be cool is if we had one weekend in February that was designated for non-conference games.
Everyone would hate that. I would love it. We would love it. Every coach
would hate it. But I don't see the problem with it in terms of what it actually is.
Yeah, I agree. If there was a czar that was running college basketball, that would happen. But it's a nightmare logistically.
We need to have a czar running college basketball because we have major issues. Did you see the Charles Bediako case today? That they said that he can't attend college unless he's playing basketball because it's too expensive.
I don't care, man.
It's bro, what is your point? You could, if it's too expensive, go online and get a degree at the University of Phoenix. It's also not too expensive. So you played in the NBA.
LeBaron Philon game time call. What's going on there? Yeah, that'd be bad if LeBaron Philon didn't play and Charles Bediako didn't play.
I mean, I think it would be good if Charles Bediako didn't play.
Honestly, the first question Brian asked me on Weekend Under Review this week was, how will the status of Charles Bediako affect this game? And I was like, it won't. It won't. He helps, but he doesn't change nothing. He doesn't change anything.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on if we take a look at, say, Cornell, Columbia?
Should be interesting. I watched every second of that first matchup, and obviously I live 5 minutes away from Columbia and went there up until a month ago.
Yeah, I just think this game's going to be electric again.
Yeah, well,
this might be the most watchable game of the weekend.
Oh, it's definitely going to be watchable. Put it this way: Columbia left Cornell's 5 men wide open. They were no cuts, beat us from 3. Josh Baldwin went 4 of 8 from deep. He's made 13 threes on the season. So that was 30% of his made threes on the year. And then Ian Emegwu came in and made 5 threes in 5 minutes. That is 33% of his threes in the season. So Columbia won that game while allowing Cornell's bigs to sit there. And Cornell's bigs went 9 of 16 from 3, neither of which have combined to make 33s on the year. They hit 9 in that game. Either they do that again, or Columbia wins. And the more likely probability is Columbia wins.
Yeah, I just think this is going to be watchable. You should go.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's Saturday, and there's so many games on. Yes, I could get off of my couch and go. I guess it is at 2, and there's not a lot of good early afternoon games.
I mean, you could also do St. Bonaventure Fordham at 2.
I was thinking about I would.
Or you come to Jersey City, St. Peter's, Siena. 10-3, 10-3.
Definitely not. But I will watch some. If there's a game I'm getting off of my couch for, it's Cornell Club.
Okay.
Partially it's a 5-minute walk.
UC San Diego, Hawaii. This game is at midnight. This game is going to be fun. I think UC San Diego is dealing with some injuries right now.
Prosper.
Prosper didn't play in their last game. That's a big loss for them. Kind of one of their athletic wings. But then they kind of just escaped Long Beach State at home without Long Beach State's best player.
Yep.
So UC San Diego not playing their best basketball right now. They're just 6-6 in the conference. But Hawaii, nobody's run through this league this year. Irvine's 9-2, but even they haven't run through it. I think it's going to be a really interesting tournament because I think there's a lot of teams that are competitive throughout all these games.
Conspiracy theory. Big West teams that play on Thursday in California, then play on Saturday in Hawaii, cannot score. 9 straight games. This is 3 straight years. No Big West team scored more than 1.01 points per possession against Hawaii on the island on a Saturday after playing that Thursday in California. It's brutal. It's like a 4-hour flight, 5-hour flight. And
could be more depending on where in California you're playing.
Yeah, like you're playing Thursday night. You're definitely flying out Friday morning. You get to Hawaii Friday evening, and then you play less than 24 hours after that, and then you get right back on a plane, go to class on Monday. It's awful. It's a horrible logistical situation, and the Big West tries to prevent those Thursday, Saturdays, but they happen. And UC San Diego without one of their starters in Prosper has been a huge loss, barely beating Long Beach State without Gavin Sykes. And they needed a late run to beat out Long Beach State at home without Gavin Sykes. Now you do the whole cursed Hawaii road trip. It's a big confluence of issues here for UCSD.
Yeah, fun rivalry night between Penn and Princeton. Penn looking to even up the series at 127. Princeton in the last game when they scored on 18 consecutive possessions between the end of the first half and start of the second half. Something I have still I've never seen and will never see again.
Yeah.
Took the series lead, 127-126, for the first time ever. After 253 matches, this is the first time Princeton has ever had the lead. I don't know if that's going to continue. Penn has not been playing great ball recently. They did get that win against Cornell to move to 3-4. They have been the number 7 offense, though, in the league this year. And that's not what you expect from Fran McCaffrey's team.
No, it is not. Princeton just picked up their first road win of the year at Columbia. Another game I was not at. But I don't know about Princeton with Dalen Davis is they're a real team if they can get stops. And I don't know if they can get stops. But if they can, they're a real team. And then they definitely have a chance at making the IB tournament this year if everything bounces.
I think everyone has a chance, really.
Except for Brown.
Yeah. Our boys from Maryland Eastern Shore have lost 3 in a row. It's getting to dire straits right now. Our Hawks need to pick up a win tomorrow at Morgan State before they go to Howard next week. This is getting dire.
Sorry, I was not prepared for MEAC talk.
We are Maryland Eastern Shore super fans on this podcast.
I love Morgan State point guard Elijah Davis. He's a lot of fun. He's a really, really good passer, and he has made 0 threes on the year as a 6'1" point guard. It's just so MEAC. I love it.
Didn't Mark Butler do that a couple years ago?
That sounds about right. It's very hard to do, to make 0 threes.
Clark might have done that his freshman year.
No, he made it. Do you know how hard it is to make 0 threes? Just by accident. You make it 3 by accident.
Bud made 6 his freshman year.
Yeah, it's so hard to make 0 threes. I can't explain to you how hard it is. But yeah,
I've done it. I've made 0 threes in my college career.
As a Division I starting point guard.
Correct.
Do you know how hard it is to make 0 threes?
It is hard.
Very hard. Very hard to do.
Washington, UCLA, catch your eye?
I hope Sky Clark's back. UCLA is really, really good with Sky Clark, and I would love they have to do this every year. Subtract UCLA's road Big Ten games with all the travel, and they're terrific resume.
Yeah, but they're in the Big Ten. This is their.
No, I understand that, but now that they're at home, and also when they get to the NCAA tournament, I made this mistake picking Utah State last time in the tournament last year. UCLA is always going to be better than in the tournament than what they showed, just because they're so awful in those non-West Coast Big Ten road games.
Yeah. I think that's about all I've got. I mean, you got the old Big East battle between Miami, Florida, and Boston College that just nobody should care about.
Jaden Hastings is going to be so good on a better team next year. So good. I love Jaden Hastings.
The next Devin McLaughlin, perhaps.
I mean, not offensively. He's a defensive first guy, but I really like Jaden Hastings.
Oh, I just wanted to.
No, in the sense that they leave Boston College and get good. Yeah.
I just wanted to make fun of BC.
Yeah.
IU Indy plays tomorrow. That's obviously fun.
It used to be more fun.
Yeah. Then they became bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad now, but it's fun.
Yeah. Someone
They're
should
actually
Cameron
not
Tinsley
in the country in tempo.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can you name the 4 teams that rank ahead of IU Indy in adjusted tempo?
I think CSUN's number 1.
Yep.
Cal Poly might be there too.
Cal Poly's number 2.
How you said there's 2 other teams?
2 other teams.
Can you give me conferences?
Big West and SEC.
3 of the top 4 are in the Big West.
The top 3 are Big West.
Okay, so it's CSUN, Poly, and Fullerton.
Correct.
And then you said what conference for the 4th?
SEC.
Is it A&M?
It is Alabama.
Alabama. Okay. Shout out the Big West. They have like no slow teams too.
Yeah, I don't think they have anyone.
They're definitely number 1 in
they have
pace.
Santa Barbara. They have Santa Barbara's 339.
They're definitely number 1 in tempo by a lot. There's only 2 conferences over 70 possession, the SWAC and the Big West. And the Big West is way
the
ahead of
MAC is 28th.
That's good for them. Normally it's lower, I feel.
Yeah, the MAC has not had a great year in terms of close games. We're 28th this year in close games.
I guess that's what happens when you have 3 teams that are in the bottom 30 in the country. Canisius without Khalil Singleton. Yikes.
Ooh, yeah, that was bad. That game was like a 30-point game that was massaged to 15.
That's a great way to put it.
And yeah, Niagara.
Hey, they just beat Canisius. What are we talking about?
Oh my God, their last 2 wins are just against Canisius.
Yeah, I mean, wins are wins.
They're 0-8 in their last 8 games against teams that aren't Canisius.
Hey, unfortunately, they will not get Canisius again this year. So,
Niagara Rider, February 22nd at Rider.
You'll be there.
No, I will not. I will be at Quinnipiac Fairfield.
Okay, well, don't say I didn't try on behalf of Rider.
I will not be going to Rider this year.
That's too bad. Yeah, I think we kind of covered it all if we're talking about bottom barrel Mac, although it is you. So
yeah, all right. I think we're ready to go. If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about Niagara versus Rider on February 22nd, you definitely came to the right place. And if you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This is season 6, episode 79 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Stealers. Go Huskies.